The series begins with Hayumi getting ready for her first date with her longtime crush, Koshiro. She is very excited. As she leaves her house, she hears a news report about the red moon, which will appear in the sky at noon. This is a normal event for the town, but Hayumi feels a bit excited about it. In the peaceful park, Hayumi sees Koshiro waiting for her. Just as she is about to join him, her phone rings with an unknown number. She answers it and hears Zenko, a classmate she barely knows. Zenko urgently asks Hayumi to turn around. Confused but curious, Hayumi does so and sees Zenko on top of a building, with the red moon in the background. Despite Hayumi's pleas, Zenko does something shocking. Hayumi wakes up in a hospital bed, feeling confused. She asks about Zenko, but the nurse looks puzzled. As Hayumi moves, she is shocked to see Zenko's face in the mirror. She is now in Zenko's body. The doctor enters and finds Hayumi in a panic. Zenko's mother arrives at the hospital, demanding an apology for the disturbance. The doctor asks for some time to calm Hayumi. That night, Hayumi goes with Zenko's mother to their messy house, which is very different from Hayumi's neat home. When Hayumi tries to talk to her, Zenko's mother slaps her and warns her to behave. Hayumi's life has completely changed, and she is struggling with who she is now. At night, Hayumi dreams of happier times with her friends, Koshiro and Kaga, before romance complicated things. These memories make her happy. When morning comes, she hopes that everything was just a bad dream, but reality hits her hard as she steps out of her room. At school, Hayumi's heart sinks when she sees Koshiro ignoring her and talking to the imposter pretending to be her. Seeing herself through another's eyes shocks Hayumi, and she tries to confront the imposter. But Koshiro and Kaga stop her, protecting the imposter. Even her close friends are confused, telling her to stay away from Zenko, thinking she is Hayumi. Throughout the difficult day, Hayumi struggles with being in Zenko's body. She faces taunts from teachers, indifference from classmates, and misses her friends, feeling very alone. At the end of the day, she tries to tell Koshiro the truth, but he doesn't believe her and rejects her. Upset, Hayumi runs to the rooftop, where she finds Zenko waiting. Hayumi begs Zenko to switch their bodies back, but Zenko just laughs. Zenko enjoys her new, beautiful appearance and the acceptance she now receives. She tells Hayumi that she plans to stay in her body forever and even confesses her feelings for Koshiro, delighting in her new life. Left alone, Hayumi feels deep despair and cries, struggling with her new reality. A small parakeet appears and offers Hayumi some comfort in her sadness. She decides to help the bird find its owner, showing kindness despite her own troubles. Hayumi makes a poster and puts it on the public notice board, hoping someone will recognize the bird. Meanwhile, there is tension between Koshiro and Kaga, who are childhood friends. Koshiro secretly resents Kaga's easy popularity, even though they seem close. Kaga, unaware of Koshiro's feelings, hides his own secret love for Hayumi, knowing she loves someone else. As the school festival approaches, Zenko enjoys being admired by her classmates and looks forward to being the main attraction. She gives Hayumi a smug look, happy with her new life. Hayumi finds some peace in painting, escaping from her troubles for a while. When she meets Kaga, he is kind to her, unlike the others. They joke and talk, and Hayumi briefly forgets her new identity. Their time together reveals a special connection, showing how their lives are intertwined. A brief moment reveals Hayumi's true self to Kaga, leaving him puzzled. He sees Hayumi struggling to talk to classmates, both girls and boys rejecting her. Kaga notices a familiar handwriting and starts to connect Hayumi's strange behavior with Koshiro's earlier warnings. Realizing the truth, he understands that Hayumi's spirit is trapped in Zenko's body. Later, the class mocks Hayumi for supposedly liking Koshiro, leaving her hurt and defenseless. Kaga, showing loyalty, confronts Zenko and makes her apologize to Hayumi by threatening to reveal the truth. Zenko, scared of the consequences, reluctantly apologizes. After school, Kaga talks to Hayumi, recognizing her true identity and apologizing for not believing her sooner. Hayumi is relieved and grateful that someone finally understands her. Meanwhile, Zenko struggles with pretending to be Hayumi. In the storeroom, Koshiro confronts her, and Zenko's lack of fear of the dark makes him realize she is not a Hayumi, who is known to be afraid of the dark. On the way to school, Kaga meets a Hayumi and helps her by fixing her hair with a hairpin. Despite her different appearance, Kaga's support gives a Hayumi hope. Elsewhere, Zenko rudely declines her best friend's invitation to a carnival, raising suspicions about her behavior. Koshiro, knowing Zenko's true identity, still stays with her, showing his shallow nature. He tells Kaga that he liked a Hayumi only for her looks, leading to a heated argument between them. During lunch, Kaga comforts a Hayumi, assuring her that Koshiro would not betray her. Encouraged by his support, a Hayumi confronts Koshiro, only to see him being intimate with Zenko. Heartbroken and betrayed, a Hayumi cries, with Kaga standing by her side, sharing in her pain. In a revealing flashback, Koshiro admits he never really liked a Hayumi. He only pretended to care for her to stop Kaga from getting close to her. Koshiro wanted to take away what Kaga valued most. But with a Hayumi's change, his plan no longer matters. Determined to keep control over a Hayumi, Koshiro decides to make himself look bad if it means stopping Kaga. Meanwhile, Kaga catches up to a Hayumi and gives her a comforting hug, promising to help her return to her old self. In his arms, a Hayumi feels relief and lets out her frustration. They go to a small cafe to relax, where Kaga's jokes make her feel better. That night, a Hayumi gets a surprising call from someone asking about her strange situation. Shocked at first, a Hayumi agrees to meet this mysterious person. They meet Ukon, a researcher studying the red moon and its strange effects. Ukon explains that she gathers information about body-switching events and found a Hayumi because of the parakeet's behavior. Ukon tells a Hayumi there is a way to switch back, but it's dangerous and has caused deaths. Ukon asks a Hayumi to help her understand the red moon's powers. At the carnival, Koshiro and Zenko have fun together, enjoying rides, looking at stars, and laughing. On the way home, Zenko tells Koshiro about her past struggles with suicidal thoughts and how meeting him changed her life. She thanks him for accepting her despite her secrets, making their bond stronger. Meanwhile, a Hayumi and Kaga's journey home is sad. A Hayumi feels the weight of her situation. When she gets home, she sees her parents having dinner with Zenko, reminding her of the life she lost. Kaga confesses his love, giving a Hayumi a bit of hope and comfort. Their moment is interrupted by Koshiro, who takes a Hayumi to a nearby playground. He is surprisingly protective, different from his usual self. A Hayumi tells him she accepts her fate, and Koshiro shows a longing for things to go back to normal. A Hayumi realizes she needs to let go of Koshiro, who is now with someone else. Koshiro makes a strange comment about her being a good match for Kaga, leaving a Hayumi confused. Alone again, a Hayumi finds comfort in Kaga's understanding. He apologizes for his confession, showing his sensitivity. A Hayumi appreciates his support, finding strength in his selflessness. Meanwhile, Koshiro researches the red moon and finds Ukon's website about body switching. He becomes more determined, especially after the parakeet goes missing, hinting at big changes coming with the next red moon. At school, Kaga and a Hayumi meet, but their talk is interrupted when Kaga asks for last night's homework. A Hayumi thinks Kaga is respecting her space, which makes her feel a bit better. Meanwhile, classmates notice Kaga's closeness to a Hayumi. Kaga admits he likes her, but asks them to keep it a secret. However, the secret gets out, and a Hayumi feels embarrassed by the teasing. Zenko becomes very jealous of the attention a Hayumi gets. Kaga protects a Hayumi from bullying and calls her beautiful, making Zenko even more upset. Zenko leaves angrily, feeling inferior. A Hayumi, not wanting to be put down, boldly tells her classmates to look beyond appearances. Her humor and confidence win them over. Meanwhile, Koshiro has bad plans and uses Zenko to try to hurt both a Hayumi and Kaga. Zenko, confused but attracted to Koshiro, agrees to his evil plans. Zenko takes Koshiro to a temple and shares her sad past and how she tried to escape it by switching bodies with an ancient scroll. Koshiro feels a bit sorry for her, understanding her pain. On his way home, Koshiro meets a Hayumi and Kaga. They tell him they trust him before leaving. Once they are gone, Koshiro mocks their trust. At home, Ahayumi apologizes to Zenko's cold mother, Misumi, understanding her hard work to support the family. As the red moon approaches, Ahayumi and Kaga walk to school, but Ahayumi feels worried despite trusting Koshiro. Problems arise when a video of Kaga complimenting Ahayumi goes viral, leading to people making fun of her looks. Ahayumi faces the harsh truth of being judged by appearances and feels sorry for Zenko's past struggles. Feeling ridiculed, Ahayumi starts to doubt if she and Kaga are a good match, fearing he might no longer like her. On the rooftop, Zenko and Koshiro plan their evil scheme under the red moon. Koshiro feels confident in tricking Ahayumi, but Zenko is upset that he knows so much about Ahayumi. Still, Zenko stays calm and leaves. Later, Ahayumi and Kaga plan to meet after school, worried about each other's safety with the red moon coming. Soon after, Koshiro stops Ahayumi and invites her to the art room, pretending to apologize. Ahayumi believes him and forgets about meeting Kaga. Her hope is crushed when she finds Zenko waiting for her instead of Koshiro. Elsewhere, Koshiro forces Kaga onto the balcony, threatening Ahayumi's safety if he doesn't comply. Despite Koshiro's threats, Kaga promises to get back at him. On the balcony, Koshiro reveals his jealousy of Kaga, resenting his apparent successes even during their body switch ordeal. Their argument gets intense as Koshiro tries to push Kaga over the edge. From the art room, Zenko makes Ahayumi watch the fight, stressing the danger. Zenko's plan depends on Ahayumi agreeing to switch bodies to save Kaga. When Ahayumi tries to leave, Zenko becomes violent and stops her. Things go wrong when both Koshiro and Kaga fall from the balcony. Onlookers rush to help, but Koshiro strangely wakes up unharmed, confusing both girls with this unexpected twist. At the hospital, Koshiro reveals that he and Kaga have accidentally switched bodies. Zenko is upset, missing the old Koshiro, while Kaga's body, now with Koshiro's mind, remains unconscious. They all leave, feeling the heavy impact of the day. Ahayumi blames herself for Kaga's suffering, thinking her actions caused the problem. The next day, Ukon examines data on his computer, noticing the red moon's light fading, signaling its end. Zenko talks to him, struggling with Koshiro's new appearance. Koshiro, now in Kaga's body, asks her to stay with him, promising he is still the same inside. That night, Ahayumi hears pebbles hitting her window. She goes downstairs and meets Koshiro in Kaga's body, smiling. Koshiro explains that he was never the villain. He learned about Zenko's plans and pretended to side with her to get information on the body-switching process. He sacrificed his friendship with Kaga to help Ahayumi return to her true self. Ahayumi thanks her friends, happy for their support. They share drinks, recalling good times from before their troubles began. Koshiro's story clarifies things for Ahayumi. During the balcony fight, Koshiro told Kaga they needed to switch bodies to help Ahayumi. Trusting his friend, Kaga jumped with Koshiro to start the body switch process. It was a clever plan that relied on Zenko's cooperation. Despite all they've been through, the group decides not to force Zenko into helping them. Ahayumi worries about what will happen if Zenko finds out Koshiro betrayed her. Koshiro, feeling sorry for Zenko, shares Ahayumi's concerns and plans to tell Zenko the truth the next day. Since the red moon happens every month, they think they have enough time to convince Zenko. The next day, Kaga learns from the news that the next 2 red moon phases will be the last. He rushes to school to stop Koshiro from telling Zenko the truth. They know they need Zenko's cooperation and consider lying as a last resort. However, Koshiro tells Zenko the truth before they can stop him. Zenko feels crushed by Koshiro's betrayal, realizing her happiness was based on his acceptance. The following day, it rains heavily, adding urgency to their mission as the second-to-last red moon phase approaches. But they can't find Zenko, who has been missing since the night before. They search the town, checking everywhere, but she is nowhere to be found. As night falls, Zenko walks through a busy street, soaked in rain and feeling deeply sad. Someone in the crowd makes fun of her appearance, making her feel worse. Meanwhile, after a day of searching, Ahayumi goes home and asks Misumi about Zenko's favorite places. Misumi is skeptical at first, but eventually tells Ahayumi that Zenko likes the Oagatsuki jungle. With a guide, Ahayumi goes into the jungle, facing her fears to find Zenko. Deep in the jungle, they find an old research facility where Zenko is hiding. Zenko is upset and refuses to look at Ahayumi, believing she is ugly. Ahayumi shows real concern, but Zenko doesn't trust her and thinks they have bad intentions. Koshiro explains that they don't love her but understand her struggles and want to help her. Zenko dismisses their kind words and refuses to help. Suddenly, Misumi appears, having followed Ahayumi and overheard everything. She confronts Zenko, slaps her, and tells her to apologize for causing trouble. Zenko, shocked but calm, pulls out a pocket knife and throws a bag at her mother's face before running to the roof, ready to jump. When the others try to stop her, she threatens Ahayumi's face with the knife. Just as Zenko stands on the edge, her mother approaches and hugs her for the first time in years. This simple act calms Zenko, and she drops the knife. Misumi apologizes for ignoring Zenko and promises to do better. Then, the group carries out Koshiro's plan. Ahayumi and Zenko, putting aside their differences, jump from a building twice, switching their bodies back to normal. A month later, Ahayumi gets ready for school when her mother gives her an umbrella. Touched by this gesture, Ahayumi hugs her mother, missing their old closeness. Misumi cooks breakfast for Zenko, and they try to rebuild their relationship. Ukon releases the parakeet and sells her lab, ending her research on the Red Moon. Ahayumi, Koshiro, and Kaga walk to school together, joking and teasing each other. Ahayumi brings up relationships, admitting she can't choose between them after everything that happened. Kaga pulls her aside and acknowledges Koshiro's role in restoring her. Accepting the situation, Kaga steps back, recognizing Ahayumi's feelings for Koshiro. Ahayumi thanks him, and he leaves. Koshiro and Ahayumi share a meaningful smile. Later, Kaga sees Zenko hesitating outside the classroom. He helps fix her hair and encourages her to go in. Because of Ahayumi's influence, Zenko has made new friends who like her for who she is. Seeing her new confidence, Kaga smiles warmly from the doorway. So the moral of the story is if you wake up in someone else's body, you might want to double-check your friends and enemies, because things can get weird real fast.